These are the Sennheiser HD650, and they were released in 2003, so that makes them old. It makes them almost 25 years old. And they followed on from their older sibling, the HD600, which was released 6 years before that in 1997, which makes them very, very old. And they were followed by their younger siblings, the now famous HD800 slash a little bit later HD800S. And I'm going to share a few thoughts about these headphones. I have had these for 10 years, and are they the most amazing bass response headphones that I've ever heard? No. Are they an incredible and exquisite presentation of treble, the upper end? No. How are the mids? The mid-range is pretty damn good. Very pleasant, very easygoing, full, rich. And so nothing where I would say, yes, the most incredible pair of headphones that I've ever heard. How long have I had them? 10 years. I've had them for 10 years because they have consistently given me pleasure. They've given me pleasure because they don't do anything wrong. And when I said that they're not the best headphones I've ever heard, they aren't not only not doing anything wrong, they're doing a lot right for me and my personal listening tastes. So 10 years ago when I got them, why did I get them? Because my 2-channel system was compromised by a family and not being able to listen to music in the evening, and certainly at volumes that I wanted to listen to music at. And so I realised I had to get a pair of headphones and did some reading. Back then there was still an internet, so it was not that difficult. And then I was familiar with Sennheiser as a brand, felt comfortable with that, and liked the write-ups that I read, and found a pair on eBay. I got these for €160, which was for me a lot of money at the time, and I also followed it up quite quickly with a headphone amplifier, a small one, a Krieg OBH something or other, which was another, I guess, 100. So it was an investment on my side. The thing is, however, I enjoyed the experience from the very first listening session. What was I amazed by? I was actually amazed by all the detail that I was experiencing. We have to remember as well the difference between this pair now and 10 years ago is I had the stock pads for many, many years and the stock cables, so that was it. I didn't know about pad rolling and cables, and we won't get into cables now, but I had the stock setup, and I was really impressed by the detail, the simple beauty of all the music I was listening to. At that time, I was sourcing with vinyl with my records and CDs. There was no streaming in place at that time, and I was also really delighted by this complete music listening experience. So not only was the detail there, the accuracy of how I expected them to sound and had grown to expect them to sound over my 2-channel system, it was all being replicated and delivered with these headphones. Now, the other thing the reason I've had them for 10 years is one key ingredient of these headphones is, for me, they are fantastically scalable. And when we hear that word scalable, what we are talking about, at least what I'm talking about, and I think it's how it is if you throw certain amplification at them, types of headphone amps, strength, quality of headphone amps, they are going to reflect this new ingredient. That includes any discussion of amplification, DAC choices that we make. I'll leave the cables out to make things easier because it's a hot potato. With the ear pads, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, someone recommended doing a change on that front, and the original pads were quite worn out anyway, and I'd liked what I heard regarding the ZMF earpads for the Sennheiser. So Zach at ZMF had been using HD600 and 650 for a long time anyway, and I guess using them as reference phones. And he was a great maker of ear pads for his own equipment, but also for other brands. And I got these are lambskin perforated, and I got a pair of suede perforated, and they absolutely certainly impacted the quality of the sonic quality of the headphones in a positive way. Not in a way where I felt I was really departing from that core signature that I'd grown to love over the years. There was refinement in various areas of the sonic palette, and the soundstage, which some people are bothered by because we're not talking about a wide, deep, high, expansive soundstage, more intimate. However, I would say with these pads, that soundstage went places, grew a little. And so the thing is there's a big thing about the HD stuff, 600, 650, being especially good on tube amplification, whether it's transformer coupled or transformerless OTL tube, because I guess I'm not really that informed about the technicalities, but voltage and impedance, high impedance of headphones is a good match, and there's a lot of voltage on the tube amps, and there's a high impedance 300 ohms impedance with these, and it's a good match, and I won't dispute that. I really enjoy them on my Felix Echo. When I got that, they sounded good. They continue to sound good, and even better on the Felix Euphoria, which I got a year ago. And the great thing is for the last week and week and a half, I've had the Felix Envy on loan. I reached out to Lucas, one of the three guys who own and run the company, how I could get to experience this. I'd seen it at the Munich high-end audio event twice, but I didn't feel like experiencing it in that context. And he kindly supported this request, this wish, and Thomas from the headphone headphone company in Germany, which is an umbrella which sells a lot of different very good audio equipment. He sent me their demo model, so I could live with it for a couple of weeks, because I find that that's a better way of really getting to appreciate what a piece of equipment, headphones, amp, DAC can offer. So I've been lucky enough to be experiencing this modest pair of dynamic driver headphones on a flagship scale, transformer coupled, balanced tube amplifier with 300B full music power tubes in there, and some nice decent stock Pasvali driver tubes. And what can I say? There are 3 gain settings on this. I've been running it on the middle gain setting, which has taken these HD650 to another place. They are the same headphones, but they're better. Without a doubt, this is what I meant by scalability. They keep getting better, they keep growing. And not only, I don't like that word better, because it's like, oh, now I can't enjoy them on the Euphoria, or can't enjoy them on the Felix Echo, or on my other couple of amplifiers, but I can. Nonetheless, there is something about the music listening experience with these, coupled with the Envy, that is, let me use the word, that is phenomenal. Phenomenal tracks, pieces of music, let's say Imagine Dragons, Doom, and I know that track, I've grown to know that track as a kind of reference thing for a variety of listening situations. And the old cliche, oh, I am hearing things that I hadn't heard in this piece of music. Yes, but no as well. It's not really so much that, oh, I've discovered new things that I hadn't heard, but the things that I'm already familiar with take on even more of what I like about them. So I guess if you're going to spend €7,000, that's the cost of this performance model with these particular tubes. If you're going to invest that kind of money in an amplifier, you've got to not only hope, but I guess you've got to experience a quality of music listening which takes you into new territory. Not necessarily new territory, so that piece of music is completely different, and you are discovering sounds and elements of the recording that had hitherto been invisible, although that can be the case, but simply being able to appreciate what you already value and love even more so. So there is an intensification of pleasure, and I would say this pair of headphones have been giving me, over 10 years, a tremendous amount of listening pleasure. There is lots of detail, retrieval. The timbre of these headphones is consistently spot on, and I like all of the representation and presentation of all the instruments, particularly guitars. That's really lovely, and the way that it handles voice. So I guess the mid-range power of these is really very good. Things are not recessed, and things are not overly forward. The instruments that are very much at home in the mid-range are very much at home with these headphones. Vocals are absolutely fantastic with these. So I guess if you appreciate, love jazz music, you're home and dry with these, and any kind of singer-songwriter, acoustic type music, also very good. But I can listen to some Aphex Twins, so I can listen to electronic music on these and not feel that I'm being shortchanged on that listening experience. So altogether, This is a little nod to the Felix Envy also, which I will try to do a more systematic video on, to share my thoughts of the experience with that wonderful piece of equipment. This is really to showcase these headphones and to underline my 10 years of great pleasure with these headphones, and to really say, I don't believe that they've aged. I don't believe that they have fallen behind their younger siblings, because there have been other iterations and developments of the Sennheiser headphone line. And the other thing is that they don't stand alone. So as I said, they follow on from an already groundbreaking pair of headphones, dynamic drivers, which the HD600 were, and they have become legendary. That's not an exaggeration. And they have fed into their younger sibling, the HD800/HD800S, which grew out of the developments and the success on a technical scale of the HD650 and HD600, and other people will refer to the predecessor of the HD600, the 5 blah blah blah. It's all a continuous growth, I guess, of the presentation of recorded music, and in this case using drivers and wires and pads and driver technology to achieve pleasure. These are my pleasure zone headphones all the way. That's it. Thank you very much. So this is a cut to another day, another scene, and another pair of headphones. The reason I'm doing this is because these headphones are called the HD414, also from Sennheiser, and they were originally released in 1968, and they are the first open air, open back headphones that entered the market, the music listening market. And the reason I include them is because, given the fact that they are so old, they shouldn't really sound, I don't know, maybe they should, but you would think aren't going to really live up to 2024 listening expectations from someone who loves music, as I do and many of you do. And they do. They live up to a very high quality of musical presentation of recorded music. They're obviously helped by being driven by the Felix Envy, their flagship, fantastic transformer-coupled tube amplifier, packing out lots of voltage, which gives these a very nice ride, with wonderful 300B full music tubes helping the ride along. And the thing is yeah, they're not like the sub-bass monsters, far from it. And I guess they reflect a fairly well-known critique of the Sennheiser headphones, let's say the H100 and the HD800S, that they could be considered on the bass lean side, although I don't find them that, and there are people who also don't find them bass lean. These are definitely not going to be making you fall off your stool with bass presentation. However, the whole presentation of the mids is very full and very rich and lacking nothing really for me, and the same with the treble, that it does extend, and it's very clean and very beautiful to listen to. And I guess, yeah, there's compression, and there's not the kind of separation of instruments and notes that you experience these days with your favourite headphones. But it's not like day and night different. And given the fact that we are talking 50 years, half a century, 68 to today, and these, let's say, I guess would be around the mid-70s, heading towards the 80s, and 600 ohms. They originally came out as 2000 ohms. These are 600 ohms. Given a variety of circumstances that you would think, yeah, there's no point in comparing them. And I'm not comparing them, but I am bringing them in because they have definitely fed into the HD650 and the sound, the sonic qualities that I experienced with the 650. It has a heritage, a legacy coming from these things here. And interestingly enough, they are the most sold headphones in the history of headphone making. I believe around 10 million units of these have been sold from when they were first launched in '68 to, I don't know when production ended, sometime in the 80s, mid-80s. So that's kind of interesting. Just historically, I find it interesting about the whole audio equipment thing. It doesn't make me an audiophile, and loving music and loving live music especially, and also loving recorded music and listening to it over speakers and in this case over headphones doesn't make me an audiophile necessarily, but it does mean that I would say that the interest in the equipment and its technical specifications and its technical performance isn't boring, and certainly can, I guess, feed into the appreciation of spending a lot of time listening to music and a lot of time with equipment. So that was just a short aside, and there will probably be another short aside. Thank you. These are the HD650, as I mentioned, and in summary, asking myself the question, what I like about them, why I like them. I like them because they are good with everything I listen to. They are not outstanding with handling bass. They're not outstanding with presenting the upper end, the treble. They don't blow my mind. They are not outstanding with the mids, although they are very, very good, approaching outstanding. The real thing I like about them is their complete package, their absolute cohesiveness with all of those frequencies that I just mentioned, and they bring everything together in just the right place. To the extent, I get the impression that some people find that boring. I also get the impression that one of the things that I really love about them, which is the sonic quality that I sometimes think people are calling dark or warm. For me, that quality, I experience it as a beautiful velvet sonic quality, which hangs around in the mid-mids, in the upper mids, and the upper bass. It's just around an area which for me gives a quality that I don't experience to the same extent in any of the other headphones I've got. I get a bit of it when I'm listening to the HE6 version 2, something of that quality. I get some of it when I'm listening to the ZMF Auteur original. Some of that quality is in there. Some of it is in the HD800S when I listen to them, but in its purest velvety form, the HD650 is where I experience it the most and love it. What I also love about these headphones is they have no prestige value. They're solidly established now as a classic headphone, where they I haven't really got a lot to prove, other than the fact that they've been superseded by younger siblings, a series of further developments from the Sennheiser HD650 blah 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 range have come up, addressing things like bass and soundstage and other stuff. And I haven't even heard those other ones because I've been so satisfied with the HD650, and as a combo, the HD650 and the HD600, because I got them more or less at the same time. And so I'm just in exactly the place I want to be with a whole range of music. Sure, acoustic music, music with non-electrified instruments sound great here. So does a range of rock music. And with this genre reference, a generic music, I also don't feel so completely comfortable with that, because it doesn't really capture or encapsulate what I'm trying to say. I think I prefer, to a degree, writing these thoughts down, because then I can really take my time, pause, refer to a very specific track, go through it second by second, point by point, and try to capture the impression I have in words. And I'm not able to do that. I can't memorize the track that I would like to talk about and refer to a very specific thing. I could say the cymbals shimmer and sparkle, and the bass really hits me in the chest, and use pretty much lots of regular tropes that people have to use, because that's the way that they need to describe their experience of that piece of music. I would simply say that these are really good all-rounders. I like them for that reason as well, although a few of the other headphones I've got, the AKG 812, also dynamic driver, I regard as a fantastic all-rounder. The Warwick Acoustics Bravura, which I have, I regard as an absolutely outstanding all-rounder, even given that it's an electrostatic, and sometimes people have their thoughts on the shortcomings of that type of headphone technology. Nonetheless, these, I paid €170 for them 10 years ago. They're still with me. They've gone through some growth in terms of new earpads. A year and a half, 2 years ago, the ZMF. Cables that are non-stock. However, for many, many years, I loved them and enjoyed them, with very modest headphone amps. Actually, no DAC at some point in the first years. It wasn't an issue. DAC stuff I didn't stream. And also, what would I say here? They have grown, and this scalability is also very, very attractive. And it's often said that, oh yeah, they really come into their own, and so did the HD800 when they get driven by a tube amp, whether it's an OTL or a transformer coupled. And these are very, very beautiful on the Euphoria, and they were very, very beautiful on the Envy, which is going back in 2 days to the headphone shop. And they are wonderful. High impedance headphones, high voltage, perfect match technically, but I also find lower impedance headphones, the Grado stuff that I have, and also the planers, the HE1000 version 2, are driven very, very well on my Euphoria. Possibly you have to try it headphone by headphone, and also tubes. The actual choice of tubes that you take are going to play their role. HD650 are the headphones that I'll have for the rest of my life. So they're not endgame, because I have other headphones that I also love. And I guess if you think endgame means, why do you need another pair of headphones? Well, because you want a pair. But I would definitely say not a prestige object, accessible to an awful lot of people who can't afford to be laying out many hundreds of whatever currency they're laying out, up to the thousands, and yet they want to have a really excellent quality sound presentation with lots of detail retrieval, good, strong, rich, colourful mids, not an over-emphasis on any of the frequency areas, because that listener might actually enjoy something more like a flat tuning. And flat sounds boring, but it doesn't have to be, because it just means that all of the different frequency areas are being well served by a pair of headphones, and these are the headphones that serve all of the frequencies from my headphone experience and music listening experience. That was a summation of the way I feel about these headphones from a music listening aspect. Thank you.